You don't need to be in the category of those parents who would want to provide some things for their kids just because the kids came back home and they told you that their friends, their schoolmates have new set of bags and the rest of new set of shoes. You shouldn't train them to see themselves as every other person. It all starts from the childhood. Whatever you bring up in those kids is how they'll end up growing. That's why the Bible says, train up the child the way he will grow, that when he's old, he will not depart from it. So you need to let them to understand that they are not everybody. They cannot be as everybody, they need to be themselves. Welcome to dacollins.tv, educational, motivational, and inspirational platform. Hi guys, welcome to dacollins.tv. I hope you're doing very well, and I hope this video meets you very well. Over the weeks, I've been treating different topics related to education, and today I want to treat going back to school, what to expect from the parents and what to expect from the learners. Now, so many things are going to occur when it's time for a new section, not just a new term. A new section involves new textbooks, new school fees, new school uniform, new things all together. Whenever a child is moving from one class to a new class, there's a lot of new settings, new system, new books. A lot of things are going to come into place that are coming in for the first time. Now, this involves the parents spending and making provision for all this. Now, this video is meant to guide most of our parents who are finding it difficult and seeing it as a major challenge on how they can prepare their children back to school. I want to tell you that I see you, I see your effort, you're doing a great job. It's not easy to cut off with kids, and more or less talking about those going back to school. It means that the child is done with one class, or it means that the child is entering school for the first time. Now, these are various topics that we can look into. Now, if this child is going to school for the first time, we know that you're prepared for it. You've taken enough time to prepare taking this child to school for the first time. You must have taken some years to prepare yourself that at age 2 or 1 year 6 months, you know that your child will be going back to school. So you've taken enough time to prepare. But the parents that have children who are already in school, but they are through with a particular section and they have been promoted to a new class, now they are going back to school, so a lot of expenses needs to come into place. First one that cannot be prevented is the fact that going to a new class, you need new set of books, you need new textbooks. Every child going to a new class needs to get up in new books and everything because you're entering a new section, you're entering a new state of learning. And at this state of learning, you can't continue from what you have been using before. They need to move into a new set of books and everything. Now, this involves the parents buying this. It cannot be prevented. This you need to save towards and you need to acquire it. Even if you're going to delay the school fees for the first 3-4 weeks, you can't delay buying the school books for the kids, because without their school books, it's like sending a farmer to the bush or to go and farm without giving him a cutlass and a hoe that he's going to use to farm. So you don't send a child to school and you don't provide the necessary books and materials that will enable the child to be able to learn and study to become better. So the textbook is something you cannot prevent. So as these kids are going back to school, all parents, one thing I advise you first and foremost, get their textbooks ready and also get their school fees ready. But if you have to rate between the two, you can try and get the textbook so that they can start learning while you also pay part of the school fees, or you pay completely. So it depends on what your pocket can carry. When it's time to resume a new section, most students want to come in with a new set of bag. They want to buy new things and they want to show off in the midst of their friends. You don't need to train your child to be in the midst of this set of people. If your child's school bag is very good, tell them to wash it and prepare to resume with that same school bag. If there are some areas that need to be sewn, if there are some the zip needs to be changed, tell them to fix it and take it to school. You don't need to encourage them that they can change their bag at interval. You don't need to let them know that you have so much money that you can provide anything that they want at any point in time. By doing this, you're not preparing them for unforeseen circumstances. You need to prepare the children for unforeseen events. So many things can happen that you cannot plan. So the kids should learn to understand that whatever they have is what they need to make use of. They can only use what they have. They should not always expect their parents to get them something new when they can manage or repair what they're already using before. So the school bag is a no-no if it can still be repaired. It's not something you should go into to buy a new one for the kids. You don't need to be in the category of those parents who would want to provide some things for their kids just because the kids came back home and they told you that their friends, their schoolmates have new set of bags and the rest of new set of shoes. You shouldn't train them to see themselves as every other person. It all starts from the childhood. whatever you bring up in those kids is how they'll end up growing. That's why the Bible says, train up the child the way he will grow, that when he is old, he will not depart from it. So you need to let them to understand that they are not everybody. They cannot be as everybody, they need to be themselves. You should only give to them what matters in their learning and in their comprehension. Any other thing is just paparazzi. It's not just for you to provide for them to be entertained, or for them to be happy, but you provide those basic things that they need in their life for them to become the best in whatever they find themselves doing. Also their shoes. Most of them want to go back with a new set of shoes, new pair of shoes, so they will look flashy in the midst of their friends. They have this unnecessary competitive spirit in them. It's in children. They want to stand out. They want to tell most people that my parents bought this for me, my parents gave this to me. You don't need to allow your kids to be in that category. All you need to do is let them know if that shoe, that pair of shoe is still good, if it needs to be repaired, if it needs to be corrected in one way or the other, go ahead to correct it. Do not expose them, do not let them know that they can change this thing and it's a regular thing that they can do. So as parents, these are some of the few things we're going to point out that is regular. Their school bags, their uniform. Yes, if the uniform is outgrown and is torn, which means that they need to get something new. On the uniform aspect, I think we may need to change that. But if it involves their school bags or their shoes that we can correct or repair, we don't need to get a new one. And most importantly, their school fees is paramount. When planning for a new section of the children, you don't need to expose them to any form of embarrassment where the school will be asked to send them home, or they'll be asked to send messages to the parents telling them or threatening them that if they don't pay in so and so time, the child will be sent home. Things are not easy currently in the economy. There's a lot of ups and downs, there's a lot of challenges, but if we plan ourselves properly, we'll be able to take care of these children and they'll go back to school successfully. So the aim of this video is to advise most of our parents who are having tough time on how to prepare the children to go back to school, to understand that the textbook is paramount because they're entering a new class, so they need to go in with a new set of books. But their school bag is not too important if they can continue whatever they have before. If it needs to be repaired, let them repair it. Their shoes can also be used what they've been using before. You don't need to go ahead and start getting something new. Now the uniform can be replaced if it is torn or if it is not good in the sight and it's something they cannot continue with, or it's something they've outgrown. Those things that you know you can manage, please go ahead to manage it. Those things you know that you need to change, go ahead to change it. If you're joining us for the first time, I would like you to hit the subscribe button. I'd like you to share this video to parents out there you know, always trying to go out of their way to please these kids, even when they can manage certain things around them. They need to see this, they need to understand that we don't always have to provide something new for them. Let us use that money to save for rainy days. Let us use that money to provide other things that are needed. Provide a private lesson teacher for these kids. You can save that money that you want to use to get a new bag or a new shoe, something that you can manage. Use that money to provide more advantage to their learning process. Get them other learning materials that can help them or aid learning to become easy. You must not always go out of your way, stress yourself to provide those things that can be managed. Let them to understand how to make use of the things that they have around them. This is one of the best ways you can grow these kids and they can learn. Thank you very much.